And hello, a very good evening to everyone. We are here, GP and I, with 30 days to CAT 2025. Hi, GP, good evening.
Good evening.
So, yes, today we are going to talk about everything do, not to do, worry, not worry, whatever is to be discussed about the next 30 days. Right? So, exactly 30 days from now, on the so not 30 days, maybe 31 days remaining. Right? आज को गिन के वैसे आज रात हो गई है. So, anyway, so let's begin with the session. By the way, before we go ahead, the rule remains the same. You can put your questions and your feelings and whatever in the chat, and we will try to take it up time to time. So yeah, that's how we'll go about it. So let's begin with 30 days to CAT 2025. Yes, the shit just got real. It is right around the corner, and whatever we may feel, we are more or less prepared. अगर यहां तक पहुंचे हो तो आप पहुंच जाओगे. इसका मैं एक थोड़ा नंबर्स के साथ बात करता हूं. जीपी फेवरेट थिंग, 3.3 lakh people filled CAT forms last year, approximately 3.3 lakh, and 2.9 lakh people took CAT last year, attempted it. So 40,000 people dropped out between mid September and end November. 2.5 महीने में 40,000 लोगों ने गिव अप मारा था लास्ट ईयर. सो अगर आप नवंबर तक आ गए हो 30th अक्टूबर, तो आप ऑलरेडी हाफ बैटल वन वाली जोन में हो. इनफैक्ट इफ यू गो बैक and see how many people would have started preparing for CAT to be able to fill the form, where 3.3 lakh people filled the form. So the number would be much bigger. It might be 4.5, 5 lakh people who would have started the preparation. Right? So basically, you are one of the people who reached the last month of CAT. Kudos to you. Congratulations. Let's start on that note. GP, what are your starting notes on this?
I think it's what important to remember is, as you rightly said, that if you persevere, if you persist till CAT, you will do well. Okay? You just have to keep putting in the effort. And please remember that 90 percentile is typically around 30% marks. Okay, typically getting that is not difficult. Okay? And apart from the IIMs, most of the institutes do not have sectional cutoffs. So even if you are able to get not do well in one section and get about 60-65 marks in the remaining two sections, you are likely to end up into a good college in any case. Okay.
Right. So, okay, on that note, let's start with the agenda for the session today. We have a 1 hour session where we are going to start talking about some things that you know. To start with, we'll talk about exam timelines. We'll talk about understanding CAT a little deeper. We've talked about this before, but let's do it once more with this thing in mind that we have 30 days. Okay. Then we'll talk about the 30-day strategy. अच्छा, मॉक्स की भी कुछ बातें करेंगे, कुछ डूज एंड डोंट्स की बातें करेंगे, हाउ टू मैनेज स्ट्रेस, व्हाट टू डू, टू कीप योर कूल, वो सारी बातें करेंगे. So we are going to talk about this, and we are going to take a lot of questions as and when we can. Okay, as many as we can. Okay. So before we start this, the most important thing that's going to happen this year, I would go one step ahead and say it might be the biggest thing that has happened, in CAT, where CAT before CAT is going to happen. So on 16th of November, we at CL, we are conducting a live. So you have a lot of mocks that you write, but ye wala mock will be conducted at a test center, an actual test center, right? Or ye test center may exactly one day on that Sunday, which is 16th November, in the same 3 slots, and you will get to take this mock in the same slot जो आपका CAT होने वाला है. So if you have an 8:30 a.m. slot, this one will also be 8:30 a.m. If your 4:30 p.m. slot, this one will also be 4:30 p.m. for you. So it is going to be exactly the CAT for you, so that डर निकल जाए, स्ट्रेस निकल जाए, एंजाइटी निकल जाए, हम एक बार वो डर से गुजर जाएं, so that the next one will just be another deja vu, like it is mentioned here, right? So that is the idea. Don't miss this. Please scan this or take a screenshot so that you can scan it later. But make sure you register for this. I think very few days remaining, less than 10 days remaining for registrations. 8 days, 9 days, right? So let's go and do this. Don't miss it. Okay. So coming to the exam timeline, and GP, I'm just blabbering. You can join me wherever you think is right. So हम यहाँ पे हैं, अक्टूबर एंड में बैठे हैं. So it's almost November now. Cat 25 is right there as you see on the timeline. Cat के पहले, by the way, NMAT शुरू होगा, and we are 5 to 6 days away from the NMAT day 1. ठीक है? Just to inform you, NMAT के पहले दिन we will come up with the first impressions session, and on the day 2, that is 6th of November, we will come with the full-fledged analysis, because some of us faculty members, we are also taking NMAT. So Gautam Bawa will come with that for the full-fledged analysis. So day 1 or day 2 ko keep watching this space for these sessions on NMAT, how it has been this year. Okay, so you'll get an idea. On that note also, one more thing, by the way, we have added 2 more tests to our arsenal of NMAT, which are completely and properly adaptive with a brilliant scoring, which is as close to NMAT as possible. See, अब तक सब लोग raw score देते हैं, because scoring is a difficult thing to do, in NMAT, because there's a lot of normalization scaling that happens. So that calculated, so we have worked out a nice adaptive test and the scoring system, and then these 2 tests are available for the students to take before NMAT. So on that note, I'll move on. So NMAT से शुरू करेंगे, फिर CAT आएगा, then immediately CAT के बाद within 10-12 days we will have SNAP. In fact, not even 10 days, right? So SNAP का first date is 6th of December, and followed by ZAT in January, 4th January. लेकिन इसके साथ results of CAT and NMAT and some other exams would have started coming. Now, if the results start coming, that means that is a time for also the GDPI preparation. Okay, so इस time पे अब जैसे CAT खत्म होता है, this is going to happen. So we will talk about this later. Okay, so this is where we are, and your B school journey hopefully is going to start in June. So with that, let's move on to the CAT 2024 pattern. GP, if you could just take the students through a part of it.
See, I'm sure pattern everyone knows, last year paper. And if you don't know the pattern or you have not taken the last year's paper so far, then I would be wondering, तुम CAT की तैयारी कर रहे हो या क्या कर रहे हो? Okay, but as I said, that you should know the pattern, and this was the pattern last year. By and large, this is the pattern which has been in place for the last 4-5 years with minor changes. The number of questions in verbal has by and large been 24. Though in CAT 2020 it was 26 questions. DILR has fluctuated between 20, 22 and 24. But 22 seems to be the stable number now. And Quant again is around 22 questions. Okay. 3 sections, 40 minutes. The critical thing to understand is if you look at the last 5-6 years, by and large, VARC has been a stable section. It means the number of attempts required or the score required for 99 percentile has been roughly around 40 marks. Okay. Sazeal, कुछ background noise आ रही है?
मेरे एंड पे सर कोई पीछे कुछ है नहीं. There is nothing.
चलो, let's see. Okay.
Are the students facing the background noise as well? Please let us know.
Okay. So that's okay. Let's continue. Okay. So continuing with this part, the DILR has been the most mercurial section, where the 99 percentile has ranged. Last year it was around 38 marks. The year before last it was at about 27 marks. Okay. So the 99 percentile number has fluctuated the most in DILR and a little bit in Quant. Quant, the range would be something like 25 to 33, 34 marks. Okay. So that is what you need to remember, that while verbal has been stable, the other 2 sections have by and large fluctuated a lot, and you should be willing or you should be ready as far as the paper is concerned to be a little flexible and not to go into the paper with a mindset.
Yeah. Okay, so we know this. अब सवाल तो यही आता है, first of all, कि भाई CAT 2025 का expected pattern क्या होगा? So please, GP, tell us what it is going to be. Yeah. And that is a big question mark. Yes, GP.
See, I would believe it's going to be similar to last year in terms of the pattern, which is number of questions, etc., etc. But I would not hazard a guess with respect to the level of difficulty, especially in Quant and DILR, which have fluctuated a lot. DILR has fluctuated the most. Quant has fluctuated a bit. Verbal has by and large been a stable section. So all I will say is most probably verbal will be similar, but quant and DIR I cannot say for sure. So all I would say is tension mat karo. Just go ahead and look at this part. Which section is going to work for you, or whichever section is going to work for you is what you need to focus on. And ultimately, whatever the paper might be, your job is to do it better than the others.
राइट सो एक और चीज है जीपी, यहाँ बहुत सारे लोग मार्केट में ये बोलेंगे कि यार इस बार का कैट ऐसा होगा वैसा होगा, बट मेरे हिसाब से यार डोंट लिसन टू दोस पीपल, नो वन नोज इट, नो वन नोज इट।
जो भी बोलते हैं ना ये, they are just trying to garner some views. They are
Yes.
not going to, they are not giving any information because अगर उसे मालूम है कि पेपर कौन सा है, पेपर क्या आने वाला है, that means they know the paper already. यार ठीक है, तो I would say कि don't just ignore them. None of us know. Last year when DILR became easier, everyone was shocked. The year before last, with the level of difficulty of DILR, which became very difficult, people were again shocked. Okay.
Right. So GP, now I will take one or two questions at this stage. थोड़ा let's answer them. पहला क्वेश्चन तो ये है कि सर I have done entire syllabus of quant, but confidence नहीं आ रहा. Have started PYQs from 2017. तो क्या करें?
तो कॉन्फिडेंस तब तक नहीं आएगा जब तक तुम पेपर नहीं लोगे. Now the student has definitely done everything, but I don't know whether he or she has taken papers or not. And if no papers have been taken, you will never get the confidence. You can learn swimming only by jumping into the pool, and that is what is important out here. Start taking papers. Identify what you are able to do and what not able to do, because till the time don't take the paper, you will not be able to even identify कि तुम्हारी औकात में क्या है, तुम्हारी औकात के बाद क्या है. So start taking papers and analyze. And if you have done a reasonable amount of preparation, remember, while the level of difficulty of the paper can vary, by and large, quant के अंदर about 50% has been a very good score. With 50% marks, you will typically not be lower than, let's say, 97 percentile. And you could be as high as 99 or even 99.5 percentile. So that's the range which we have with 50% marks. तो उतना ही करो, बाकी तो हो जाएगा.
Fair. Okay. So PYQs करने चाहिए, guys. No doubt about it. And GP rightly said कि do it in the form of tests as much as possible also. Right. So that is very necessary. एक question ये भी है कि भाई PYQs do I take mocks every 2 days, every alternate days? So what is the right number? इस पे हम आते हैं. We will come to this in a bit. Right. So Rajpriya, Satya, please wait for this. Okay. Going to the next part of this. What are the important dates for us to take care of? Again, 5th के आसपास we are expecting, 5th को we are expecting the admit cards to come out. Now, admit cards to come out is an important thing because that will tell you what time of the slot have you got. So going forward, from 5th onwards, as soon as you have your admit card in your hand, आप जितने mocks लोगे, वो mocks को exactly उसी time पे लोगे. So suppose what I'm trying to say is, if you have an 8:30 slot in the morning, going forward, try to take as many mocks or all mocks, if possible, at 8:30 in the morning. Why is this? We need to get used to things. Now, used to getting in that time. अगर मैं 8:30 बजे ही उठता हूँ और मैं उस टाइम पे उठ के if I'm groggy, how am I supposed to be ready for the paper or be active in the paper? That's not possible. So I'll have to get used to that time. मेरा एक बहुत बड़ा problem है. 12:30 p.m. का slot I wish I don't get, because I get hungry at 1 o'clock. That's my body cycle, my body clock. अब उसके पहले मैं खा नहीं सकता और 1 बजे मुझे भूख लगती है. Now during the test, if I feel hungry, I'm not going to perform. Now, this is a problem. Now I have to train myself for the next 30 days or whatever 25 days that you will have. Yeah, you'll have to train yourself to work in that slot. अच्छा, एक और चीज बताता हूँ. So 8:30 को अगर slot है आपका, if you wake up at 8 o'clock and sit for brush करके 8:30 बैठ जाओगे, that also doesn't work, because on CAT day आपको 30 minutes before you will have to enter the room. At least the latest you'll have to do is 30 minutes before. 30 minutes before उसका time आपको पहुंचने में, the CAT centers are very far. So sometimes you take 45 minutes, 1 hour, maybe 1 hour, more than 1 hour to travel. Okay, which means you'll have to wake up even half an hour before. So basically, 2.5 घंटा पहले. So you'll have to wake up at a 5:30, 5:45, or 6 to be able to write the cat at 8:30 morning in the morning. So you'll have to start simulating those situations, those conditions for yourself, right? Okay. Exam day is 30th. We know this, and now let's do some understanding of RTI data that we've got. Okay, हमने कुछ RTI data निकाला है just to understand कितना percentile चाहिए to get into which B schools. Now we only have this for the top government B schools who are bound by RTI to respond, right? So we might not have a lot of other colleges like, let's say, SP Jain or NMIMS or whatever. Let's look at this. Okay, so if you look at this data, I am Ahmedabad ka general category student. The last convert happened at 93.76 percentile. 93.76. Of course, there would be some profile that would be working for him. WorkX hoga, kuch aur hoga, 10th, 12th ke marks.
Most probably her.
Sorry?
Most probably her, not him.
Her, most probably her. Yes, absolutely. Right? So you look at your own category and you'll see NCOBC is 79 percentile, SC is 73 percentile, ST is 74 percentile, and so on and so forth. Right? So look at it for all the colleges and take it for yourself. अब ये प्रॉब्लम ये है कि सर मेरे परसेंटाइल मेरे प्रोफाइल पे क्या परसेंटाइल चाहिए आई एम अहमदाबाद के लिए. दैट इज द क्वेश्चन टू आस्क, right? Okay, so that you can figure out. How you can figure out, I'll tell you. There's something called an MBA Profilizer in CM, right? Go to this, fill up your details. This is a form to fill up, right? This is, you can scan this to reach that page, fill up the form, and then you get this kind of a chart which is on your right with a description on the bottom, right? You can exactly see कि मेरे को IIM Ahmedabad के लिए इतना percentile चाहिए होगा, and it's a strong match or not a strong match or whatever, and नीचे उसका logic लिखा हुआ है, right? So I am Bangalore. Why is that percentile requirement good for me? Why is it a strong match for me? That is written down exactly. So what profile element is working for you for which college, and at what percentile will you get it? This helps you target. Okay, having said that, of course, keep it in your mind that sectional requirements कुछ colleges में, especially the top IIMs में है, सब colleges में नहीं है. So those of you who are fearful कि सर मेरा sectional meet नहीं होगा, don't worry, there are other colleges apart from these which are also available to you, right? So which GP said in the beginning as well, right? GP, anything to add to this in case I've missed out?
I would say don't worry about this part at all, because this is not within your control. Ultimately, whatever your profile is, you have to live with this. You cannot change your marks, you cannot change your academic stream, you cannot definitely change your gender. So if something is beyond my control, I keep worrying about it, I'm only going to kill myself. So जो हाथ में नहीं है, जो कंट्रोल में नहीं है, उसकी चिंता मत करो. Focus on your CAT preparation, because this is within your control. And if you get a higher score, it will to a great extent compensate for whatever profile deficiencies that you have. Secondly, profile को बहुत ज़्यादा देख के खुश भी नहीं होना चाहिए है, because when you start looking at the profile and say, okay, all this is in my favor, you stop focusing on the CAT preparation. And again, your profile will be completely useless if you don't get the required score. So इसलिए मेरे ख्याल से profile देख लो एक बार, but don't be obsessed with it. Just get a broad idea and keep focusing on your CAT prep.
जीपी एक चीज खाली डिसएग्री करूंगा, आजकल बिल्कुल जेंडर चेंज हो सकता है, करना चाहेंगे नहीं इसके लिए वो अलग
नहीं यार, ये 2 महीने में नहीं हो पाएगा ना. कैट का फॉर्म भर चुके हो with whatever gender you have. ठीक है?
Yes.
So if you're looking at CAT 26, 27, then it's a separate issue. I'm talking CAT 25.
Right. On that note, okay. So some target colleges, एक idea के लिए, I've just put this chart here. Just look at it. Right. This is again a very indicative chart, because ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि 98 परसेंटाइल आएगा तो ये सारे में से किसी में भी से कॉल आएगा, ऐसा ना भी हो. It is possible because there are profile requirements. This is just a, take it with a pinch of salt kind of list of colleges. You can take a screenshot of this and use it later or watch this video again. Okay, so where are you at? ये वाली एक बात आ जाती है. And can you still get a 99 percentile? First of all, GP will agree with this and he will say the same, that 99 percentile is not required. सबको नहीं चाहिए. हर कॉलेज को नहीं चाहिए, हर बंदे को नहीं चाहिए, हर बंदे के लिए हर कॉलेज इज नॉट द टारगेट. So first of all, relax and don't worry about this 199. Like GP rightly said a while ago, ये परसेंटाइल सब छोड़ दो. जो आ रहा है तुमको कहां पहुंचना है और तुम कैसे वहां तक पहुंचोगे, क्या ग्रोथ होने वाली है, उस पर फोकस करो. Right? Can I still get a 99 percentile? The answer is yes, of course. Right? Sometimes people do magic and get it, even in a short while, but you don't need it. Right? GP, any answer on this before we
See,
go?
again, to me, a percentile is nothing but a rank. And my rank is a function of my performance as well as the performance of all others. Okay. So all I will look at when I'm looking at the paper is कि यार मैं percentile तो outcome of my performance है, तो let me focus on my performance. And my 99 percentile or 95 percentile or 99.9 percentile will happen if I get a certain number of questions right in each of the three sections. All I would want students to worry about is yes, 99 percentile आ जाएगा, दिक्कत नहीं है. As long as you focus on the fact that every time you're taking a paper, are you picking up the right questions? Are you leaving the difficult ones? So focus on the process of taking the paper. This obviously means you have requisite amount of knowledge. अगर तुम बोलते हो क्वांट के out of 22 questions, even if you give me 5 hours, I can solve only 4 questions, तो कुछ भी करो 99 percentile नहीं आएगा. Assuming you are capable of solving 15-16 questions in quant, if you have sufficient time, then 99 percentile in quant is not an issue. Similarly for the other sections also. So there's one aspect which is called knowledge, and the other aspect is your behavior during the paper or the process you adopt in attempting the paper. Both of them are required. Certain amount of knowledge is required. Should your knowledge be 100%? No. Do you need to know every question under the sun in quant, every kind of set DILR you should be able to solve? No, that's not the case. So my suggestion is, as far as you are concerned, yes, you can get a 99 percentile or whatever your target score is in the next 1 month available, and let's see how do we go about doing it.
Right. Okay, so the blanket answer is yes. We've already answered this. You can crack CAT and get even a 99 percentile. Basically, इसका आंसर बहुत सिंपल है, जीपी ने दे दिया है. CAT is not a knowledge test, it's an aptitude test. You need to know which area to attack. Right? तुम्हें अभी के मॉक्स जो दे रहे हो is not to someone said right now कि सर बहुत मेरा volatile score है, कभी 96 percentile आता है, कभी 66 percentile आता है. Understand one thing, don't judge yourself on that basis. अच्छा ठीक है, आउटलायर्स को निकाल दो, वो अलग बात है, अपना रेंज तो समझ में आता है, लेकिन at the same time you are supposed to use the mocks as a tool to analyze and understand what you are doing right, what you're doing wrong, where is your strength, where is your weakness, and work according to it. Right? So like I say कि भाई strength पता चल गया तो मैं उसको fortify करूंगा कि मैं ज्यादातर क्वेश्चन उसके सॉल्व कर पाऊं. डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन फिर भी नहीं करने मुझे उसके. So am I selecting right? अगर वीक एरिया है तो वीक एरिया को क्या मैं वीक में से स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं बना सकता 30 डेज में, बट कैन आई टेक इट आउट ऑफ द वीकनेस इन सच अ वे दैट आई कैन एटलीस्ट आइडेंटिफाई एंड अटैक द इजी क्वेश्चंस ऑफ द टॉपिक. दिस इज हाउ यू नीड टू ट्रीट. अभी अगर तुम एंजाइटी और पैनिक में हो ना स्कोर को देख के तो प्रॉब्लम है, और ये सबके साथ है. यू हैव टू शेड दिस राइट नाउ. राइट? टेक इट इन अ स्ट्राइड. तुम अपना वो काम किए जाओ, फल जो आएगा वो आएगा. ठीक है, जहां हो वहां हो, स्ट्रेस लेके फायदा है ही नहीं. सो CAT is an aptitude test, right? Solving GP said this also, solving 30% of the questions or getting that score, 30% score will get you a 90 percentile. 50% score will get you around or at least more than 99 percentile. So it is seen over years. ठीक है, तो हमें बस उस पे फोकस करना है. That is all. Right? Now question is not whether you can get 99 percentile, whether you can get into a 90 IIM or what is going to happen. Question is what does cracking CAT mean for you? So तुम्हें क्या चाहिए, किस इंस्टीट्यूट में जाना है, उस इंस्टीट्यूट के लिए क्या परसेंटाइल चाहिए. अच्छा, CAT के द्वारा जाएगा या ZAT के थ्रू जाएगा? Are there two ways of getting there? Is NMAT also working for you for that? Because everyone has their own exams also. I don't know, GP, do you agree with this or not? But कई बार एक बच्चा होता है CAT क्रैक करता है बार-बार, CAT नहीं कर पाता. And vice versa.
That's right. It happens.
So are you diversifying your efforts in that sense also, right? Are you taking multiple tests to make sure that you get into the right cloud or right cluster of colleges, right? That is what you need to focus on, right? So let's understand CAT in this perspective. Here is the comparison of CAT scores across years. Okay, let's understand this. पहले तो है ना 90, अगर ध्यान से देखो 204 का स्कोर है. 204 is a total score that CAT had last year, right? उसमें से 99 percentile was at 95 का score, which is less than 50%. Look at every year, it is less than 50%. You catch any number 90 वाला ले लो, तो you will see that it is less than 30%, right? So basically you target your stages right now. एक stages वाला target कर लो, and this is what the data is for. Okay, so GP इसमें कुछ ऐड करना है क्या, आगे बढ़े?
नहीं आगे बढ़ते हैं, because as I said, I'm least bothered about this thing for the simple reason इसका पेपर ये CAT 20 फॉलो करेगा या CAT 24 या CAT 23 हमें नहीं मालूम है. So to me there's something I would not really be too worried about.
Right. Okay. So CAT 2024 percentile versus score ये हम देख चुके हैं बार बार. मैं एक ही मिनट में आगे बढ़ जाते हैं इसमें. Just look at verbal में 97 percentile. Second column. Verbal में 97 percentile. You need to do 12 out of 24 question. Why am I talking about 97 percentile? You understand. So 34 का score. 97 percentile in DILR needs 11 questions. And in Quant, it needs 9 questions as per last year's CAT. This year's CAT may be different, or rather we can say it will be different for some section. So don't just take this completely and hold on to this, right? ऊपर नीचे जा सकता है. So 34 plus 31 plus 25, that is 59, 60 and 90. 90 के score पे look at the overall. It is way above 98.2 or 98.3 percentile. Right? So if you get 97 in each, you get 98.2, suppose, for example. Now, ये तो होगा नहीं कि हर एक में 97 आएगा. So in one or two sections which are your strength, you will pull them, right, to a 98, 99 or above. One of the sections will be weaker where you get a 92 or 93. If your overall score is 91 or 92, you are going to get 98 plus percentile, right? This is how you start thinking about it using this chart. बस ये इतना information के लिए है. I think we'll move on. One important information, a lot of material is available for you on mobile phone, right? I think except for mock test, you can do everything else. So daily dose topic test, कुछ भी sectional भी लिखना चाहो, you can do that on the mobile phone. So please make sure that you are using it, the CL mobile app, right? Okay, because a lot of notifications. Now I'll tell you, on the CAT day, there'll be a lot of analysis sessions happening. So you can access them all on the mobile app. So please make sure that you have scanned this or downloaded this mobile app. Now let's get into the 30-day plan. And I will request GP to start with this. And then we go on to each of the sections and discuss it. Right. So, yes, GP.
See, as Sazeal, you said a couple of minutes ago, there will be some section which you'll be strong in, some section you'll be weak in, and some section you'll be moderate in. It could be 1-1-1 each, it could be 1-0-2, it could be 2-0-1, it could be 3-0-3-0, whatever combination might be there. Right. So the idea being that whichever is your strong section, you should be able to pull up your score in that section significantly in terms of marks, and obviously marks अच्छा होगा तो percentile भी होगा. And your weak section, you should be able to clear the sectional cutoff. So that's the ground rule you should follow. That if you are very good in VARC, which means VARC hero, then even if you get a clear the sectional cutoff in these two sections of DILR and Quant, or get only a 95 percentile, even then your aggregate will be 99 plus. Similarly, if you look at the other ones, which is if you get a very high score in DILR and let's say a 95 odd percentile in the other two sections, you will still be 99 percentile in aggregate, and same thing in Quant. So if you are good in 2 out of 3 sections and you get somewhere around 99 in 2 sections, third section, even if you get 90, forget about 95, you will still be above 95. So इसका मतलब खाली इतना है कि whichever area you are strong in, उसको इतना अच्छा कर लो कि उसमें गलती ना हो. And whichever area you are weak in, just be defensive and do just enough to get a sectional cutoff. And then you are safe.
Yep. So बस तो ये तीन basically ये तीन scenarios हैं, right? So VARC hero, how he will go, like GP explained, DILR hero क्या करेगा, QA hero क्या करेगा, तो QA में खींचेगा. That is what this is about, just to give you an idea. Okay. Now we come to must do things in the next 4 weeks. What do we do? अब कितना mock attempt करना है, क्या करना है, we'll talk about all of that. Okay. I think इसमें वो format थोड़ा बीच में आ गया है, so you can't see some things, but let's avoid that. So let's talk about writing mocks. So first thing we must do is attempt a mock. Attempt a mock, analyze it thoroughly. So किसी ने पूछा था कि क्या हम हर alternate day can we write a mock? Not necessary. You can do that. Not necessary. Rather, तू जो mock लिख रहा है, क्या are you analyzing it right? Is the question. It's not about more mocks. It's about what you do with that mock. Right? So analyzing the mock is very important of what you are doing right, what you're doing wrong, where you are scoring marks, where you're not scoring marks and losing them. Right? So ये analysis करना जरूरी है. And how do you fine tune your strategy going forward such that you will be ensure कि ये score तो आएगा ही मेरा. That is how you fine tune your strategy. So this is what you are supposed to do. Right? So this is what this says. And keep practicing that particular fine-tuned strategy that you've made for yourself. उसको प्रैक्टिस करते रहो such that it works for you. So यहाँ पे ना मैं थोड़ा सा I will थोड़ा सा चीजी एक बात कर रहा हूँ मैं. Bruce Lee had a statement he made that I'm not fearful of that opponent who knows 1,000 moves. I am fearful of that opponent who knows his move and has used it 1,000 times. Have you used your strategy 1,000 times? Just a number, but so many times that it works for you. You know how to use it to your advantage. That is what it means. Right? So, what is the objective of writing mocks? I don't think I should explain this. We are all very clear about why we should write mocks at this juncture. If you're not writing mocks, you're making a huge mistakes. अब तक आप मेरे हिसाब से, according to me, if I give you a thumb rule, you should have written 10 to 15 mocks already. If you're not done, you please start immediately. Right?
And Salim, just to add to what you said, and I'm also responding to the question which was there, should I write a mock every alternate day? I would say no. 2 mocks a week is good enough, because when you write a mock, a 2-hour mock needs 4 to 6 hours of analysis, and it will need another 2 to 4 hours of revision. So a 2-hour mock actually means an investment of 10 hours. So if you are not going to do the paper, analyze the paper and identify questions for revision and revise them regularly, it is waste of time. So if you are going to do 3 mocks a week, you don't have time to analyze, revise, and improve yourself. So which is why I would not recommend. As a matter of strategy, एक हफ्ता 3 mock लेके थोड़ा speed up, थोड़ा push करना चाहते हो, that's a separate issue. But on a sustained basis, let's say 2 mocks a week are good enough, and that is what you should do. Because as I said, after the paper, identify what went right, what went wrong for you, which question you should have attempted and you missed out, which are the questions you should not have attempted and you attempted and wasted your time there. See if they can find the pattern. Then look at the question and quant and DILR which are doable but you get confused. Those are the questions you need to revise regularly. Similarly, I didn't go through the RC English section and identify what all mistakes did you commit, where all did you waste time. Doing all this will take time, so which is why 2 mocks a week and this detailed analysis and identifying questions for revision becomes extremely important.
Right. इनफैक्ट एक और चीज ऐड करता हूं इसमें कि अभी आप अगर एनमैट भी दे रहे हो, you'll be taking some एनमैट मॉक्स as well. So it will be more like हर 8-9 दिन में आप 3 मॉक्स ले रहे हो, ये हो भी जाएगा अगर एनमैट मॉक को ऐड कर लोगे. So I think because you also need to switch between the strategy and the patterns, ये भी तो होना है, right? So you'll have to give yourself that space and time and everything else, right? So okay. अच्छा, बाद में ये snap का भी होगा, right? Then that will come in, so you will have to start writing the mocks for that also, right? Okay. While analyzing the mocks, focus on your attempt rate and accuracy rate. Please understand, some of us make a big mistake by just looking at attempts or accuracy, right? It is a combination of the two which matters, and I'll tell you how. For example, if I say, sir, मेरा accuracy 90% है, मैं जो भी attempt करता हूँ मेरा 90% ऑफ इट इज करेक्ट एंड आई एम सो कॉन्फिडेंट अबाउट इट, बट बेटा तेरा अटेम्प्ट ही इनफ नहीं है टू गेट यू दैट स्कोर, व्हाट विल यू डू विद दैट एक्यूरेसी? आचार डालोगे? ऑन द अदर हैंड समवन सेज कि सर मेरा अटेम्प्ट्स में सारे अटेम्प्ट करके आता हूं, आई 24 में से वर्बल में आई अटेम्प्ट 23 क्वेश्चंस और 22 क्वेश्चंस, बट एक्यूरेसी इज 50%, व्हाट इज द यूज? So you have to, right now is the time to find that fine balance between the two. That is what I talked about when I said the fine tuning. एक फाइन बैलेंस ढूंढना पड़ेगा कि मेरा स्वीट स्पॉट क्या है वो एक्यूरेसी और अटेम्प्ट्स का वाला, and that is the game that you will play again and again and again in every mock, right? So focus on this combination of attempts and accuracy. अच्छा, अब आते हैं सेक्शनल अंडरस्टैंडिंग, सेक्शनल एनालिसिस पे, and we'll start with DILR GP. So the first thing we start with is,
so स्वनित के बारे में I think I have talked about this thing so many times कि शायद मैं ही बोर हो गया हूँ इसकी बात करते करते, because all those 20 odd sessions of DILR Jugaad that I've done, I have talked about this. So first thing is, please make sure that you are able to understand. Decipher is comprehension or understanding the data. If you don't understand the data, then you should leave it. Identify is, look at the questions, look at the data given and the choices, and see what information can you collect from there, which will be helpful for you in solving the data set. And that should also help you identify कि यार मेरे को ये सेट करना चाहिए कि नहीं, इसमें cases बनेंगे, or will it be easy or will it be difficult? Okay? Layout is the tabulation of data, and you tabulate the data. You make the layout based on the question requirement. तुम्हारा काम table भरना नहीं है. Something I keep saying again and again. Your job is to answer the questions, and you fill up the table only to the extent required. Many students make a mistake. They make the complete table and then go to the question. They have already wasted time. Okay? And resolution is nothing but solving the question. So this is the basic thumb rule to look at. So you understand the data before you go to making the table. Go to the question, pick up question which will give you information, and how to work with the choices is something you need to learn. You can go through my series which is available in OpenCat on DILR Jugaad sessions. उसको एक बार देख लो, idea लग जाएगा. And then you go through the question and the choices and look at solving the data set. Okay? So that's the broad outline you look at. Okay.
In fact, a lot of people are asking about this के DILR में मेरे से solve नहीं हो रहा है. GP, I know you have 8 minutes, so I'll just close this fast. कि DILR में अभी इस stage पे क्या करूं? I'm not able to solve sets. यार पहला तो
first, Sazeal, I'll just pitch in a couple of things out here. Yeah. At this point of time, your basic mode of preparation has to be mocks and PYQs. If you have to look at the third thing apart from these two, it has to be your daily dose. इन तीन के अलावा सब चीजें फेंक दो, कोई काम की नहीं है. Okay, so whether it is quant or DILR or verbal, only these three things is what you should be focusing on. Okay. Now, what you need to do is go through all the data sets of PYQs and your mock cats or CDCs as far as DILR is concerned. Incidentally, the same thing I'll say for quant also. You go through each set, you pick up one paper today, for example. Let's say CDC 1 आपने आज उठाया, solve that completely. Out of those 5 sets, you'll find one odd set to be so difficult that it's not worth even spending time on it. You'll find probably 2 sets are very easy and you can solve them whenever you want. But the remaining 2 sets are the ones which you are able to solve, but you get confused. You get a hint and you're suddenly able to solve. These are the ones which are the problem sets for you, because you will start attempting these sets and you'll get stuck in these sets. Bookmark these sets. These are the sets which you have to revise. So day 2, what you will do? Revise the questions on these sets from day 1, which is CDC 1, and do the same thing for CDC 2 also. On day 3, you will revise the data sets or bookmark sets from CDC 1 and 2, which is day 1, day 2, and pick up a third paper also. Day 4, forget CDC 1. क्यों? क्योंकि CDC 1 के सेट जो रिवाइज करने थे, you have revised it 3 days back to back. Hopefully now they are with you and you will not forget them. And day 4, what you do? CDC 2 and CDC 3 data sets to be revised. And the next thing is pick up CDC 4. So work on this 3-day cycle where every set which you think you struggle with, you revise that 3 days back to back. उसके बाद तुमको comfort आ जाएगा. And in the paper also, you'll be able to identify them well, and you'll be able to pick out whether it is a set which is worth attempting or not. Another thing you should do is, when you're looking at these sets, see if it is easy how do you identify it to be easy without solving the set? If it is difficult, what is there in the set which should tell you that yeah, यार ये मुश्किल है, ये चीज देख के पता चल जाता है मुश्किल है, इसको नहीं करना चाहिए. So this part, if you do for DILR completely and do it only for 10 CDCs, ज़्यादा भी नहीं करो, clarity आ जाएगी. But I would think, given that you have about a month with you, you should do it for all CDCs and all the CAT papers from CAT 17 to 24. सबके लिए कर लो ये चीज. And just to repeat, quant भी exactly यही करना है. Okay. Now I'm jumping the gun because मेरे पास time की थोड़ी सी कमी है इस time पे. Okay. So as far as quant is concerned, first thing you need to remember, you are not going to leave any topic. There was a question from a student जो कहता था मैंने number system में गया नहीं किया, क्या करूं? कुछ नहीं. If there is a topic or an area you are not comfortable with, all you need to do is look at all the questions from old CAT paper of that topic. You say logs मेरे को नहीं समझ आता, कोई बात नहीं. Do all question of logs from old CAT papers and look at the Jugaad solution, look at the regular solution, whatever works for you. Revise those questions 2-3 days back to back. And hopefully when something similar comes in the actual paper, you'll solve it. Because CAT में question कम repeat होते हैं, but the concepts get repeated. So the same concepts keep coming again and again. So if you are willing to revise these questions again and again, you will also be able to do well. Okay? So quant के लिए, don't leave any topic. Whichever topic you say is a difficult one for you, and within that topic, please solve all questions of PYQs. Okay? यहाँ पे some couple of questions were asking about my book की जिसमें मैंने जुगाड़ solutions वगैरह दिए हुए हैं. I have given that link of the book also in case you want to purchase. But all that material will be available most probably in your aspiration, in your MyZone also. So वहां से भी उठा सकते हो. Okay?
Right, CB. So that was about DILR and quant. So now we can go on to verbal quickly.
Sazeal, I'll quickly go through the questions and बीच में शायद मैं तुमको disturb करूंगा, but you can continue.
Sure. Absolutely. So अच्छा आप बीच में question लेंगे.
Okay, मैं question ले लेता हूँ. Okay, should I start preparing for that as my scores available? No, continue with CAT Darshan for the simple reason what you do for CAT will be useful for that also. Till CAT is over, please don't look at anything else. खाली that पे ही focus, CAT पे ही focus रखो. In the last 1 month, then all you need to do is focus on decision making and do a little bit extra of verbal because quant of that and quant of CAT is almost the same. So don't worry about that at this point of time. CAT पे लगे रहो. CAT अच्छा होगा तो that भी अच्छा ही हो जाएगा. अगर CAT अच्छा नहीं हुआ, you still have that 1 month to cover up.
जीपी दर्शन का एक और चीज जो बोल रहा है वो कि मैंने ज्योमेट्री और नंबर्स नहीं किया अभी तक. भाई उतना कर ले कि तू बेसिक क्वेश्चंस निकाल पाएगा बिकॉज देयर आर इजी क्वेश्चंस. लास्ट ईयर स्लॉट 3 में फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन वाज अ इजी क्वेश्चंस ऑन मॉडर्न मैथ. इफ यू वुड हैव डन इट, यू सॉल्व्ड एग्जांपल वाला लेवल का क्वेश्चन था वो.
And again, Darshan, as I said, PYQs CAT 17 to 24, they are only about 550 questions. If you do 30-35 questions every day, in 3 weeks, you can easily complete all PYQs. So if geometry or number system नहीं आता है, PYQ, geometry, number system 2-3 बार कर लो, there will be maybe how many? There will be about 50-60 questions. 2 दिन में हो जाएंगे. And 3 days back to back revise, and you should be good with it. Okay. Now, Rishabh, I have just talked about the process to be adopted for DILR. And as I said, your focus has to be on the CDCs and on the CAT 17 to 24 data sets. Just follow that process for these papers, and you should be good to go for CAT. Vidhi, exactly the same thing which I have told. The same thing which I have told others is what I would say. Okay. Shubham, thanks. और सब पिच मार रहा हूँ किताब बेचने के लिए. Okay, Sakshi. For me, some QA topics, 2-3 arithmetic numbers are remaining. Should I focus on completing this? And okay, Sakshi, you have to do these questions. You don't leave these topics, but as I said, do it through PYQs and do it through the mocks. So in your CDCs, whatever questions have come from these topics, in the old CAT papers, whatever questions are from these topics, please do all those questions 2-3 times, and then you will be comfortable with the whole thing. Saksham, not connected with quant, but Saksham, there's something called profile also. Okay, you are a general engineer male, तुम्हारे question में ही answer है. A general engineer male could not have got a call at
GP was
92.
general non-engineer male है.
Non-engineer male कब नहीं आ सकता है, female ही होगा. Which is why I said that जब तुमने बोला था him, which is why I interjected most probably her. Okay, this is important. My scores are inconsistent. Jayesh, okay, Dr. Jayesh, if you are a medical doctor, I'm sure you would understand that if your scores are fluctuating, there's something different you are doing every time. My suggestion is look at your behavior in the papers which you have done well in and your behavior in the papers in which you have not performed well. जिन पेपर में तुम्हारा स्कोर अच्छा आया है, most probably you were reading properly, you were leaving the questions which were difficult or confusing, you are attempting what you were capable of, not being extra adventurous. So your behavior would have changed in the next paper कि CDC Pro 9 में 8 में अच्छा आ गया है, तो 9 में तो adventurous हो गया और suddenly खराब हो गया. So look at your behavior in the papers which you have done well and replicate that behavior rather than being adventurous in these papers. Okay. Ayush, how do we decide on round 1, round 2, round 3 when doing the question? We should attempt or leave, or whether we should check the question and mark it. Okay, Ayush, there are two ways of doing it. What some people do is they would straight away click on the question paper button, go through all 22 questions, identify those 7-8 questions and do it. That is not the way I do it, but some people do it and they do it successfully. My approach is I'll read the question and then decide कि करना है कि छोड़ दूं. You need to decide whichever the two methods works for you. That is what you should follow. Don't try to just copy any one of us. Experiment करके देख लो, whichever works better for you. Please go ahead with it. Okay. Mehek, I had said a little while ago when you are doing DILR, after the paper, when you are analyzing any set, you should also try to look at the set and say, okay, what if it is easy, what made it easy? What was there in the set that should have told me this is going to be an easy set, or what was there in the set which should have told me कि यार इसमें मुश्किल होगा? That's an analysis you need to do after the paper, after you have solved all these sets. Only then you will be able to pick up. As a primer, if you look at all the CDC's pros, almost all the CDC's pros, I have done a session. I have put up a video called DILR overview. In that, I do exactly this. I tell you which are the sets which should have been attempted and what is the criteria on the basis of which you could have said कि ये set करना चाहिए या नहीं करना चाहिए. So if you go through the DILR overview videos, you will hopefully be able to get a good idea as to how to do the set selection. Vanshika बहुत अच्छा है ना. If you are moderate in all three sections, you are definitely getting an overall 95% score. Moderate means you are getting about 90% in each section. Aggregate 95 पे हो गया. एक महीने में किसी भी एक दो सेक्शन को थोड़ा सा ऊपर खींच लोगे, you will be able to get to a 97, 98, 99. The good thing is you are not bad in any section. Look at the posture. तुम रो रहे हो, मैं बोल रहा हूँ ये तो अच्छी चीज है कि you are already at 95 watts. Just a little bit of last 30-day push and you will be easily at 98, 99. Okay, Seema says getting around 10 marks in quant every mock due to silly errors. Seema, silly errors typically happen when we try to move very fast and try to attempt a large number of questions. Just slow down. Don't try to attempt a large number of questions because in any case, in trying to move fast and attempt more questions, score तो बर्बाद हो रहा है. तो छोड़ दो उसको, शांतिपूर्वक काम करो. Just relax in the paper and that's okay if you are able to do only 7, 8, 9 questions. Fine. Even if you do 8 questions only in 40 minutes, it is still 24 marks and you will be, if not a 97, 98, at least a 95 percentile. So just relax a little. Paper में इतने हड़बड़ाहट नहीं करनी चाहिए. If you are making silly errors, it is usually an indication that you are moving very fast. You are not reading the question carefully. You are trying to calculate very fast and hence you are making mistakes. Sanchit, देर आए दोस्त आए, जल्दी से करो शुरू. As I said a little while ago, to be able to swim, you need to get into the swimming pool. First, तुम किनारे पे बैठ के थ्योरी कर रहे हो स्विमिंग की.
Right.
किताब पढ़ के स्विमिंग सीखना थोड़ा सा मुश्किल है. Sazeal, there's a question. I'm leaving it for you to take up. Working timetable for someone for working professionals. Yeah.
Sure, sure. GP, so you have a class, I guess. So
I'm quickly going through it. मैं देख रहा हूँ कुछ बचा है तो. Okay, I think I've covered most of the questions. ठीक है. चलो. Sazeal, in any case, just share my number at the end of the session. In case they have any issues, they can always call me and discuss the issues with me. Okay, so my number is available. You can always call me to help to get an idea to have your doubts cleared. The only thing I would say is call me. If I am not picking up the call, don't worry, I'll call you back. I would not pick up the call if I'm in a session like this. Okay, chalo, thank you, Sazeal. I'll just move out now.
sure, see you. I'll continue with अभी VARC की बात करनी बाकी है, so let's continue with that. So before I go to VARC, just quickly, math, quant करने का एक ही तरीका नहीं है. So अभी से, so what we call जुगाड़, it's just a word, right? Jugaad is just logical, commonsensical solving of questions, whether you use approximations, whether you look at options and eliminate options, whether you start visualizing information, especially in geometry and stuff, using some kind of working backwards, looking for patterns. ये सारी चीजें ट्राई करना शुरू करो अभी. और ये सिर्फ जीपी का जुगाड़ देखने से तो होगा, लेकिन खुद करने से होगा. So जो जीपी ने बोला, after solving the mock, you go ahead and solve the mock again, is very important, because even if I got a question right, but I spent 4 minutes on it, would I not want to cut it down to 2.5 minutes or maybe less? How can I do that? वो सोच डालना जरूरी है. गलत क्वेश्चंस क्यों हुआ वो भी देखना जरूरी है, बट सही क्वेश्चंस को मैं हाउ डू आई डू इट बेटर is also another way of looking at it. Okay, so going to VARC now, I'll take some questions which are remaining towards the end. So verbal mein there is a problem, like DILR, you will have to do a lot of practice. Practice has to continue. You please start doing 3 to 4 RCs on a daily basis. If you are not doing, कोई पूछ रहा था सर मैं वर्कएक्स वाला हूं, मैं क्या करूं? यार 3 RC तो करना ही है, दिन के 2 सेट तो करना ही है. लास्ट के 7-8 दिन सो लेना, स्लीप इन द लास्ट 7 days. अभी तो 6 घंटे 5 घंटे ज्यादा नहीं सोएगा तो चलेगा. 5 days a week or 6 days a week, sleep for 5-6 hours. Pull your sleep on Sunday, right? Pull your studies on Sunday. You will have to find your way to do it, right? But 3 to 4 RCs per day you should be doing right now. So even if you are a CL student and you're doing daily dose, it works for you. Nothing better. So mocks, sectionals or daily dose or kuch PYQs and you are sorted. That's all you have to do, right? So practice and persevere is the first thing. Patience मैं इसलिए बोल रहा हूं यहाँ पे verbal में, because it is very frustrating when you can't get answers right and you don't know why you're getting them right or wrong, right? So here is where you need some patience. आराम से बैठ के सोच कि ये आंसर क्यों सही होगा, ये आंसर क्यों गलत होगा. Look at the solution afterwards. Look at the video solution afterwards. First you try to think it through, right? A lot of smart work would help, like working from the options, eliminating options, right, is one of the things. Reverse engineer the section for yourself. See what worked for you before, what did not. So like GP said a while ago for quant or DI, right? Look at which section you performed, which mock you performed well if a verbal section, which mock you performed bad. What right did you do and what wrong did you do? यहाँ से समझ में आ जाएगा कि मुझे क्या करना है आगे जाने के लिए. And go on the offensive, play on the front foot. लोग verbal को लेके रोते हैं, but still the most scoring section marks wise is verbal. Okay, and finally मैंने नीचे लिखा है solve VARC like quant. What does this mean? I will explain this. ये एक habit forming है. Solve VARC like quant. In quant, if I get a question, let's say it's a arithmetic question, percentages, I don't look at the options and say कि मुझे A अच्छा लग रहा है या B अच्छा लग रहा है. No, I think B is better. No, C is much better than that. You don't do that. You solve the question, you get some answer or something like an answer, and you see if there is any match in the options given. If there is a match, only then you will mark. Otherwise, you will not mark. But what do you do in verbal? In verbal, you go around seeing कि अच्छा A से B is better, B से C is better. No, D is not so better. So, that is how you are thinking about it. That is wrong. So, like in Kant, first solve the question in your head. मुझे क्या पूछा है? मुझे पूछा है which of the following arguments does not strengthen the argument in the passage. So what is it? Passage का argument क्या है? What is the main point? Main point को strengthen कर रहा है. Which does not strengthen पूछा है. Which means 3 options are going to strengthen the argument above. What is the argument? What is the main point? And which of the 3 options are strengthening the argument? The remaining one is the answer. Work it out in your mind first, then look for it in the options. Then you eliminate. Okay, so solve VARC like Kant. Start doing that and your accuracy will start improving. Practice this. और of course, आपको beast method तो पता ही है हमारा, right? So beast method क्या होता है? So broad options. So this is a method of elimination basically. How do you eliminate options? Eliminate wrong choices, wrong options, wrong answer choices. So if they are too broad, अगर context कुछ बोल रहा है और ये broad बात कर रहा है, generic बात कर रहा है, general options are not specific enough, then you eliminate. Extreme options, जब always, never, only, first, last जैसे words आते हैं, your antenna should go up and you should think, is the author also saying always? Right? So if he is not saying always and the option says always, अगर सब कुछ सही लग रहा है तो भी वो option wrong है, because it is going extreme. Alien options, alien meaning कुछ नया unrelated concept which is not written in the passage is alien. So you can eliminate alien options. Sidetrack option मतलब वो बात तो passage वाली ही शुरू कर रहा है, but वो कहीं और ले जा रहा है. It is going somewhere else. So it makes me feel कि हाँ ये passage में तो है, but actually नहीं है. It is sidetracking, right? So you eliminate that. And finally, tone mismatch. Correct seeming answer, not matching in tone, right? They are definitely eliminatable. Okay? So this is the way to eliminate options, and smartly eliminating options is the way. How to increase the speed in VARC is what Sakshi is asking. Sakshi, only practice and timed practice. So basically, if you're solving RC not in mocks, but just like that, then also you should sit with a watch. If for an RC you take 12 minutes and your target is 11 minutes, you give yourself 10 minutes. Crunch your time, solve fast, and then whatever remains in the remaining time, you can solve it. Start crunching yourself on a daily basis. So all your practice should be a timed practice. Okay? Okay. Satoru Gaming, very nice. Sir, I'm doing well in the sectional, but the mocks are drastically down. See, understand, hamara jab construction, when we construct a mock, right? When we construct a mock and we construct a sectional, the mindset is not different. So sectional is as good as a mock, just broken down into 3 pieces. So if this is happening to you, Satoru Gaming, that means that you are basically taking a lot of stress when you're writing the mock, or mock wala pressure, right? So you need to work around that, right? We will come to that. We'll talk about that. But practice of mocks will help you there. Okay, so let me move on and then take some more questions later on. Okay, so there is something called a Power 30, which is a course that we've launched for the last minute prep. This is for the 30 days. You have 15 mocks. Sorry, यहाँ पे 30 sectional लिखा है. It is 15 sectionals and 15 sessions at this time, right? You will be able to take. So उस 15 sectionals जो आप लिखते हो उसका शाम को session. So you write one sectional today, there's a session. Then day after tomorrow, there'll be another sectional you'll write, and there's a session where we'll discuss the strategy and everything, right? So this is how it's going to happen. So this is a beautiful last minute prep ke liye, course. Okay, now some FAQs, and these are the questions you were already asked, so I'm not going to answer them. I'm going to answer the last question. Can I start now? Well, start the CAT prep? No. But start writing mocks? Yes. Start positively, क्योंकि तूने कुछ तो किया हुआ है, भले थोड़ा सा प्लेटफॉर्म तो बिल्ड है, then yes, you can start now. So even if you think your preparation is not up to the mark, yes, you can start now. All right. Now let's talk. I think we have come to the end of the time. So thoda main jaldi karta hu because I want to answer a couple of questions. How do you beat the stress? So whenever you feel stressed, please take a breather. It could be, for some people, it could just be taking a nap, going to sleep. For some people, it could be talking to your boyfriend or girlfriend or friend or whatever, mother or father maybe, right? So do whatever shit that makes you calm down. Just don't make it too long. For example, YouTube Reels make me calm down, sir, after a stressful day. It makes me calm down, Sazeal, right? But I can't spend 2 hours, scrolling the Reels. So you have to know that I'm going to do this for 10 minutes, relax, and then come back. Take a breather. Be mindful, right? Don't let the mess grow in your mind. Remember that progress is greater than perfection. परफेक्शन नहीं पहुंचना है. मुझसे पूरा सेट नहीं हो रहा है सर DILR का. इट इज ओके. 5 में से 3 क्वेश्चन हो रहा है तुझसे. गुड. मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट वन without crying over the other 2 questions. That is required. Talk it out. Talk it out to your peers. Talk it out to your friends, people who understand, right? So find those people and talk it out. That's the best form of therapy. If you don't have anyone to talk it out, or even if you have anyone to talk it out, call me up, call GP up, talk to us. We are here for you. All right. So relax. In case you have any questions and you want support, please reach us out on Telegram or support@careerlauncher.com. And of course, there is a lot of free resources on OpenCat. So all the students who are preparing with free resources, go to OpenCat and find your stuff. Right? There is a last lap to CAT session आएगा जो 1st November पे आएगा. Right? So do check this out. And now let's talk about questions. Let me take a couple of questions, okay? So can we do at least 2 RCs? I think you're talking about 2 RCs per day or 2 RCs in a mock, Srivalli. Your actual name is Srivalli? Areva, nice. So can we at least do 2 RCs in a mock? No, in a mock you should do all RCs. You should target to do all RCs. In a day, you should target to do 3 to 4 mock, RCs. So this is what you should be doing, ideally. What should we do in the last week? Pratibha, we will come back. Last 10 days, last 7 days वाला session होगा. So Pratibha, अभी chill मार. अभी 3 week का plan कर. आखिरी week का मैं बताऊंगा. Right? A couple of us, मैं, GP, Gautam Baba, we will come and talk to you, and we will make sure that we will de-stress you. Okay? So Pratibha, forget about the last week. In fact, on a lighter note, last day पे मैं हमेशा से ये करता था. When I was at the center, right? For a lot of years. A day before we used to do a mass movie screening. तो स्टूडेंट्स के साथ बैठ के मूवीज देखते थे. कोई रैंडम अच्छा मूवी जो पॉजिटिव फील कराए. Doesn't matter, English, Hindi, Tamil, doesn't matter. Right? And we used to have fun. So last day you should not do anything. Because ये वो एग्जाम तो है नहीं जहाँ पे रिवाइज कर लोगे और कोई पूछेगा तो मेमोरी बेस्ड आंसर you will puke out. That is not the kind of exam this is. So no use worrying about it. Bhavya says, sir, I attempt a lot of questions. Still, my overall score is 20-25. Then your question is your answer. If you're doing a lot of questions and you're getting just this much score, that means your accuracy is bad. Reduce your attempts. So, kam se kam negative marking nahi hoga, and start choosing the right questions. One more question right to do every mock, and you will get there. Okay? So, Bhavya, don't attempt too much. That is what I would want to say. Sir, any tips for VARC when stuck between the last 2 options? मैंने जो बोला, solve in your mind. Solve the question in your mind. What is asked? पूछा क्या है? So 2 eliminate कर दिए, 2 बचे हैं. पूछा क्या है? जो first thought आए. See, now here also, Sutirth, there's a problem. Some people say, sir, मैं पहला जो thought लगाता हूँ ना, वो गलत होता है. तो good, पहला thought जो लगा है तो दूसरा मार्क कर ले. कुछ लोग बोलते हैं सर मैं ओवर थिंकिंग करके जो पहले सोचा था वो सही होता है लेकिन मार्क कुछ और कर देता हूं. तो वेरी गुड, ओवर थिंकिंग मत कर, जो पहला थॉट आता है वो कर ले. सो सी व्हाट वर्क्स फॉर यू एंड व्हाट डजंट वर्क फॉर यू. दैट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ योर मॉक एनालिसिस एंड देन कम बैक. right? And do and repeat what you want to, you are supposed to do rather than what you are doing right now. Okay, where is it? Sir, I don't have NMAT slots other than 6th November. Lele 5th Sham. See, doesn't matter. Yeah, so Devansh, you do one thing. You wait for. By the way, are the slots still open? I thought they closed on 25th of October. Devansh, just check. Divyansh says, sir, what is the best way to handle both cat and snap? यार अभी cat की बात करता हूँ, snap की बात अलग करूंगा. ठीक है? So let's not talk about snap right now. Let's talk cat. NMAT and cat right now. Snap का session करते हैं. Okay, it is still open. Oh, great. I missed my scheduling. I filled the form, but I missed scheduling my NMAT exam. So thank you for telling me, Devansh. 6th ले, but if you wait maybe a day, you might, कल तक है तो कल तक वेट कर ले, एक आध और डेट खुल जाती है तो ले लेना. Otherwise 6th is, you have no option, right? You have to take it. Increasing attempts in VARC decreases the score, sir. Exactly, buddy. So you have to do the right attempts. You don't have to increase the attempts for the sake of increasing the attempts. Okay. So Shripad, what you are supposed to do is, तुम्हें वो आता है कि नहीं? मैंने जो बोला solve VARC like quant. What does that mean? That means मैं जबरदस्ती का attempt नहीं करूंगा ज्यादा. Right? अगर आता है तो आता है, नहीं आता है तो नहीं आता है. How sure am I? और मैं पैराजम्बल्स और आउट ऑफ कंटेक्स्ट क्वेश्चंस विच इज ऑड वन आउट को छोड़ूंगा भी नहीं, बिकॉज दे आर टीटा. उसको छोड़ना नहीं है. और अगर छोड़ना नहीं है तो थोड़ा पढ़ के ही कर ले, थोड़ा गेस्टिमेट कर ले, खाली गेस मत कर. राइट? सो दैट इज हाउ यू विल स्टार्ट वर्किंग ऑन योर स्कोर. अभी भी 1 महीना है, you'll get there. Okay, start working on it. Okay, with that, I'm sorry, a lot of questions, not able to answer all of them. We are 7 minutes overdue, so I will see you again. We will do more of these sessions if you find them useful and we can answer more questions, right? So with this, a very good night and all the best. We will come back. 7 days wala session bhi hoga, uske pehle bhi ek session hoga where we will help you, guide you, answer your questions. So thanks a lot and have a great night. Bye bye.